Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. How the jewel's mother had to leave Akure and rush to the royal mansion very early in the morning upon hearing that since the great lion left the palace, the jewel has not opened the palace door. They said it wasn't only it said they kept calling even the great lion to let the great lion know that since he left the royal mansion, the jewel has refused to open the door. The jewel has not come out. The jewel is just there and maybe just crying and all of that. That the only thing that the jewel will do is use phone there and call to check on the boy Tade, and the jewel will not do any other thing. They said they went to knock to give him food. They said this thing happened the previous evening around 6. They went to go and knock to give him food. He will not open the door. So what that meant was that he never took dinner and breakfast he never had. Because when they called and said she has not opened her door, was around 11 in the morning. So from that 6 to 11, she's been inside her bedroom, maybe sobbing or something. So they just could not help it. They had to call the mother, and they called the palace to see if they could talk to the great lion, because if the great lion had called her phone, she probably would have come out. But the great lion's phone was not connecting, so they had to call Dr. Sapphire. Now, they said around 2 of the same day, Dr. Sapphire was already right there in Lagos to check on the jewel to see how the jewel was feeling. They said as soon as she heard the voice of Dr. Sapphire, she opened the door. Dr. Sapphire got there before even the mother got there. She opened the door, and coming out, her eyes were reddish. She has cried like she cried the entire night because she feels like maybe, just maybe, she betrayed her husband by not talking. Now, Della, right? Let's look at this thing critically. Do you really think that she betrayed her husband by not telling? Because she said she was protecting the man. The great lion had been going through so much already. With the drama, with her Bonnie, with Ikpi, with every drama. She said that she didn't want to be that one person that will bring another drama to the great lion. That she wants to bring peace to the great lion. That she never saw it as anything, because at the end of the day, she is a determinant factor. It's not what the uncle says, neither is it what David says. It's what she is saying. She does not want to leave. You know, time and time again, she has already even told her family that she is not going to leave her husband. No matter what, she loves her husband. If they will not support her, they should let her be. Yes, she has told her family that time and time again. Now, for the husband to come and be that angry over this is something that really broke her heart. But a lot of people, even the mother who came, was saying that maybe she ought to have shared that information with her husband. The mother was saying that. Okay, now you know why it's looking as if the mother is distancing herself from the problem. That woman has gone through a lot too. Though, of course, the jewel is her daughter, but she's gone through so much. When it comes to things that has to do with the personal life of the jewel, the entire world feel like she has a right to making certain decisions. When the jewel left the palace, they blamed this woman so much. People insulted her. People abused her. That how is it possible that she could be there and the jewel will make that kind of decision? How is it possible that she could claim that she didn't know that the jewel was going to leave? That the jewel and her, they are very close. How this and that. So even when you saw how, even when that thing happened in Ibadan, you saw how she was very diplomatic when she spoke. She said that she knows very well that the great lion will do anything, do everything to help because they are families, okay? So, but one thing that the mother of the jewel is trying to do now is to stay away from the jewel's personal decision. Whether she says she wants to go back to the palace, so the mother will say yes. If she says she does not want to go back to the palace, so the mother will say yes. because the father of the jewel has blamed her, laughed at her, blamed her so much over a lot of things. People have blamed that woman, and so right now she's just staying on her own. So it looks like even this thing with David and Wanga, maybe the jewel did not discuss with her, or if the jewel discussed with her, we don't know. But she was saying that something this serious, the jewel ought to have had that discussion with the husband. Sapphire went there. It was Sapphire who was pacifying the jewel, telling her to stop crying, that the great lion would not be angry for too long, that they should go back to the palace so she can talk to the great lion and all of that. Because the jewel had thought that it would be business as usual, where great lion would go and come back. But the great lion left and never came back. So they needed to go back to the palace. Now, the mother who had come had to stay over so she can look after their boy, so that the jewel and Dr. Sapphire will go to the palace. They said it was something that really crushed her feelings, crushed her heart. She was so heartbroken because she thought that she betrayed her husband. So Sapphire was telling the jewel that, look, the great lion has every right to be that upset. That how would you feel? That, something like this was going on behind his back. Your entire family knew about it. They started turning against him for a complete stranger that they do not know. And you knew it and you kept quiet. How would you feel? Now, even if you say you're protecting your husband will not feel protected, because the great lion even told her, Sapphire, that things were moving on well, even with the uncle in Sydney, that he's confused as to where this, animosity is coming from again, that the uncle was doing everything within his power to push, the jewel out of his life, that he is not even sure where it was coming from, not knowing that the jewel knew everything and the jewel did not say. Sapphire said, look, with everything, that one thing that is making the great lion very strong to fight for her is because the great lion is also sure that she is there for him. Now, this whole thing now is causing a whole lot of confusion. That you should have at least just told him what the problem is so that he will know how to defend himself. But you kept quiet. Now, your keeping quiet is making the great lion feel like you are with your family rather than with him. And that is why he's feeling that bad. And Sapphire now started talking to the jewel not to stay in the royal mansion under the circumstances. The jewel should follow her back to Ife so that they can speak to the great lion together. And they said that was how, both of them left for Ile-Ife to meet with the great lion so they can talk. They said the entire time that you should have seen the jewel when she got to the palace, you will just know something was actually wrong. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.